So Rell just continues to show us some amazing things, and I mean all the glaze when I say that. Today we got Impel Down to go over. We got some new ships and how ship combat is looking like it's gonna work to go over. We got some new fruits and some new bosses, and overall just a lot of great things today. But if y'all want to stay updated on Rell or just want to support me, make sure to like and subscribe because it helps the channel a lot, and I'll keep y'all updated so you don't miss anything important. But let's get straight into the video. So the first thing we gotta go over is these new ship sneaks we just got, and I'm not gonna lie to y'all, these are actually really important. For those that aren't familiar, Rell is actually supposed to have ship combat, and this is kind of showing the progression of that. The first thing we got is a photo indoors, an actual indoor ship. That's crazy. I know that doesn't sound that crazy, but Roblox games do not be having indoor ships for whatever reason. And the other photo we got is blurred for whatever reason, but it's above the ship and it's next to the driver's seat. And I'm wondering if the driver is going to be able to control the cannons as well, or you're going to need separate crewmates down to control the cannons. I know games like Arcane Odyssey had good systems where you could even get crewmates, like AI crewmates, to go and control your cannons for you and give a bunch of stat buffs, but I don't think Rell has something like that in mind. If they don't allow you to control your cannons and your ship at the same time, it's gonna hurt you if you're a solo player. But to an extent, I think that actually makes sense. In my opinion, you want the game to incentivize you to make crews, and if your ship requires multiple people to be as efficient as possible, then it incentivizes you to make a crew. But just having ship combat is already better than most One Piece games on Roblox, so it's a good thing either way. The next thing we got is another zone fruit ultimate, and this is obviously the wolf fruit if you couldn't tell. And I'm pretty sure every fruit ultimate we have seen so far has been a cutscene, so probably expect that for every fruit in general. And I want to sit here and act surprised with how good it looks, but if I'm being honest here, I'm not surprised at all. Skitty has made everything pretty much up to this standard, so this is just the norm at this point. But next we got some custom mounts, which are actually a much bigger deal than a lot of y'all think, because with this they're essentially opening the door to non-canon mounts and non-canon things in general. But the name of the mount is Blue, which is definitely one of the names of all time. But how do you guys feel about non-canon things in the game? Me personally, I'd prefer if they focus on mostly canon stuff at first, and then when they start to finish up the canon stuff, then start to shift their focus to non-canon things. But regardless, as long as they're done right, I think non-canon things can be pretty cool. But now we got what's probably the most important information of this whole week, actually this whole month, you know what, my whole life, and it's referring to Impel Down. Rell said once ships, map revisions, and small parts of the exploration are completed, we'll release a development video. In the meantime, our team is developing an open world Impel Down prism system that includes all 6 floors, work in progress, and they put some screenshots of it. And there's a lot to unpack in this message. The first thing is we'll probably be getting a development video in the next few weeks. If you noticed earlier, they said ship combat is almost done, and now in this tweet he's saying when ships, map revisions, and small parts of exploration are completed, we're gonna release the development video. And I'm assuming it's gonna be a lot more than we got last time, since what we got last time was not that much, but it sounds like they're adding a lot more. But now let's talk about Impel Down, since we actually have quite a bit to go off of. They said it's an open world prison system, meaning if you are a marine, you can most likely arrest pirates and put them in Impel Down, since it is a prison system. They also sneak this blue gory, which is from Impel Down, so that's a guaranteed thing that's gonna be there. And what will also most likely be there, since the venom fruit is confirmed for release, will most likely have a Magellan boss there as well. And a Magellan boss can actually be really crazy, since for their venom fruit, I believe they have both phases of the venom. There's like a purple venom and a pink venom, and they have both of them, so maybe the boss at like 50% HP switches its venom or whatnot. Either way, they pretty much have a limitless amount of characters and ideas they can use on Impel Down. And in my opinion, they should focus on making every floor feel a lot different. For example, some of the floors are really cold and some are really hot, and I just remember a lot of the Impel Down floors had different things about them. And based on what they've shown us so far, it looks like Impel Down is going to be huge. And I wonder if Impel Down is going to be something that you want to avoid going at all costs if you're a pirate, or more of something that you want to go there and actually explore, and then you want to try to get some of the drops and whatnot that are there. Me personally, I'm hoping it's somewhere in the middle of that. I'm hoping that there's actual risk for going to Impel Down, and it's not something you want to do carelessly, but there are really good drops and incentives to going there. High risk, high reward, if that makes sense, especially if you're trying to break your homie out of prison or something. Next, we got this tiger boss called Katame, which actually fought Zoro and Wano. And for those that don't know, Wano is pretty much confirmed. So assuming Wano does actually come on release, are we also going to get bosses like Odin, for example? I know Odin isn't as big as most of the bosses we've gotten so far, but Odin is still pretty big. That man is like 10 feet tall. I think he would be the smallest boss we've seen so far though. But the main reason I think it would be a really good boss is simply because of the drops it could have. It could have both his swords, Enma, and I forgot the other one's name. But let me know what type of bosses y'all hope get added. But now we got this dragon from Punk Hazard, which got a big rework and it looks way better, I'm not even gonna lie. I'll put the new one versus the old one on the screen, and the new one looks way closer to the actual one from One Piece, but also it fits the Rell art style way better. And they also made a mount as a drop for this boss, and they said this is going to be a thing for some of the bosses throughout the game, and that's honestly a really great idea. The only thing I'm wondering is, how do you get the mounts that aren't boss drops? Off the top of my head, the only thing I can imagine is some sort of mount shop with some sort of in-game currency. But the last thing we have is some sort of prototype for Hiken or Fire Fist. And Flame was actually shown in the original trailer, so it's most likely getting reworked, and honestly, I don't think that's a bad thing. The original Flame still looked pretty solid, but it didn't look anything amazing, especially compared to some of these models and animations. If y'all don't want to miss any important news, make sure to like and subscribe because it boosts my algorithm, and you don't miss any important news. It's a win-win situation. But either way, I was kind of tired of this video. I don't know if you could tell, but I appreciate y'all for watching and showing love either way. Thank y'all. Love y'all. Later.
There's Roblox.